Hi all, welcome to the fourth lecture of Austrian schools of economics. And the topic of today is labor. The book we are quoting is always the same principles of economics written by Seyfdin Amos. We will start again with a quote from Ludwig von Mises about what labor is. He wrote, the labor is the employment of the physiological functions and manifestations of human life as a means is called labor. Man works in using his forces and abilities as a means for the removal of uneasiness and in substituting purposeful exploitation of his vital energy for the spontaneous and carefree discharge of his faculties and nerve tensions. Labor is a means, not an end in itself. Every individual has only a limited quantity of energy to spend, and every unit of labor can only bring about a limited effect. Otherwise, human labor will be available in abundance. It will not be scarce, and it will not be considered as a means for the removal of uneasiness and economized as such. It's a bit complex sentences. Now let's discuss about what he means and the difference between labor and leisure. Human time is the ultimate and scarcest resource. This we learned in the previous lectures. Spending is irreversible, and its quantity cannot be increased indefinitely. Time scarcity and unpredictability create in humans a positive time preference, a preference for a present good over an identical future good, always positive and varying from person to person. This also we learned in the previous lectures. Humans can spend time in two ways, leisure and labor. Leisure involves things we desire, like and want to do for their own sake, subjectively valuable to the individuals who engage in them. It includes activities such as time spent with the loved ones, entertainment, recreation, and anything else an individual enjoys. Leisure is what you do if you don't have to work. On the other side, labor is the time man spends doing an activity that he does not find valuable of itself, but whose output he values. Defined by Mises as the employment of the physiological functions and manifestation of human life as a means. And now let's deep dive on economizing for the future. The present utility of leisure is sacrificed in favor of the expected future utility from the outcomes of the labor. The opportunity cost of labor is leisure foregone. At a young age, man has a high time preference. With maturity, a man begins economizing for the future. This takes two forms. Economizing to lengthen the time period in which he is alive, and economizing to provide for future time periods in his life. The human struggle to survive and thrive is the struggle to increase the amount of and value of time we have on earth, and it is inextricable from the need to work in the present. So surviving and prospering in the long run, in fact, require work and sacrificing pleasure today, and this incentives the lowering of our time, and this incentivize the lowering of our time preference. No matter how favorable or unfortunate circumstances, man will always think of ways to improve his situation. There will always be present utility to sacrifice on the altar of future utility, and reason will always drive men to it. The castaway stranded in an idyllic tropical paradise may appear to modern people to be living the ideal life, but such a life will nonetheless inevitably involve labor. After spending time on the beach, the castaways will soon get hungry, and he needs to work to secure food. And now let's discuss about some important terms related to labor. So the primary way humans influence their surrounding environment is through the process of production. We can define here the most important terms. First, production is the alteration of the given according to the designs of reason. These designs, the recipes, the formulas, the ideologies, are the primary things. They transform the original factors into means. Man produces by dint of his reasons. He chooses and and employs means for their attachment. The popular saying according to which economics deals with the material condition of human's life is entirely mistaken. Human action is a manifestation of the mind. Labor is defined as the employment of the physiological function and manifestation of human life as a means. People work only when they have value. When they value the expected return of labor more than the lost satisfaction brought about by the curtailment of leisure. Consumer goods, final goods, or first order goods satisfy human wants directly, independent of other goods. Instead, producer goods, intermediate goods, or factor of production, or higher order goods are goods that satisfy human wants indirectly when used to produce consumer goods. Human labor can be viewed as producer good, but is always used to refer as a capital. Productivity is understood as the quantity of output produced by one unit of input in a specific period of time. Exchange of trade is a willfully induced substitution of a more satisfactory state of affairs for a less satisfactory one. Price is the things that is given up in an exchange, and cost is the value of the price, the value of the satisfaction one must forego in order to attain the desired end. Last but not least, profit, gain, or net yield is the difference between the value of the price paid, the cost incurred, and that of the goal attained. Profit in this primary sense is purely subjective, and it is an increase in the acting man's happiness, a physical phenomenon that can be neither measured nor weighted in this case. Man can work to produce products for himself, or he can work to produce product for others, receiving compensation in exchange for his time. Labor is consensual agreement between the employer and the employee. The decision of an employer to hire an employee is a market transaction like all the others. For the employer and the employee to willingly agree on an arrangement to exchange labor for compensation, the condition of the exchange must be satisfactory for both. The value of the employee's labor to the employer must also be greater than the wage paid, or else the employer will not pay it. Labor occupies a unique position in our world due to what Mises calls its not specific character. Unlike specialized capital equipment, human time can be directed towards all kinds of production process. Capital can no longer be productive in a specific line of business, will likely be rendered obsolete, but the human time can always be repurposed for more productive usage. In the last 200 years following the Industrial Revolution, the value of human time has continuously risen as humans have accumulated more capital, invented higher productivity technologies, utilized more powerful energy sources, and extended the division of labor to larger market and more participants. All the inventions, tools, and technology that increase human productivity have led to the extension of human lives and an increase in the value of human time, because now we need to be paid significantly more to part out with our leisure. The end goal of economizing, after all, is to allow humans more and better time on Earth. Many schools of thought have posited that unemployment is an unavoidable and inevitable part of the world of the market economy. As we will see in the next lecture, the root cause of unemployment is inflation that causes rising prices and recession, and this we will see in the next lecture. Instead of tackling inflation, economists prefer to shift the blame onto the market economy itself or greedy capitalists, and they propose counterproductive measures like minimum wage laws, and they propose these counterproductive measures. Minimum wage laws prevent the market from adjusting to inflation, resulting in constant waves of unemployment that coincide with the business cycle. In the next lectures, we will deep dive also on the business cycle. And now let's go on the economic problem. And according to Keynes, economic progress can one day solve the economic problem, and there will be no longer the need to economize. But this is not true. In reality, no matter how many material objects we have, we will always have a choice to make at the margin between immediate and future satisfaction. We can always forsake present satisfaction for more future satisfaction. There will never be complete satisfactions because human reason will always foresee a better possibility and work towards it. It will be very inexpensive for someone to live today by the living standard of Keynes' day. Yet, even the poorest people today can use and own many things that Keynes was never able to own, and they continue to yearn for a better living, as do the richest people. The economic problem will always exist as long as human time is scarce and humans have choices to make. Even if humans were in an imaginary world where everything a person wishes for materializes in front of them immediately, the economic problem will not be solved, as humans' mortality still forces them to economize their scarce time. The economic problem is solved every instant at which a human reasons about their time and make a choice, only for a few new economic problems to emerge in the next instant and force the same human to make another choice. The only final solution to the economic problem is death, the point at which there are no further choices to be made regarding time allocation. And this will be the last slide with the main points. I highlighted 4. So first, humans can spend time in 2 ways, leisure and labor. Second, economizing for the future equal 2 things, economizing to lengthen the time period to be alive and economizing to provide for future time periods in his life, in our life. Third, in the last 200 years, the value of human time has continuously risen as humans have accumulated more capital. Last but not least, the economic problem will always exist for as long as human time is scarce and humans have choice to make. And with this, we are at the end of our 4 lectures and see you. Thanks to have watched it and see you in one of the next lectures. Bye.